Hey YouTube, today we're going to be comparing a couple little 9mm sub guns because 9mm is the end all caliber and all the 9mm people will tell you that, and I'm going to give a little love out to them today. And what we're going to do, we're going to compare an old school sub gun to a newer modern technology sub gun, and I'm going to show you some advantages and disadvantages to each one of them and get everybody's opinion on which one is probably the better choice. And before we go any further here, we're going to show you that neither one of these little sub guns have anything in them, and we are safe to proceed and make this video. So what we have here is, on top here we have a Modern Sig Copperhead chambered in 9mm. And on the bottom we have a Cobray MAC-11 chambered in 9mm. And we'll start off with the older one here. This is a Cobray MAC-11 chambered in 9mm. If you look at the serial number, you'll see the first two numbers in it are 89, and that shows that this thing was made in 1989. If you look towards the back here, it says M-11 9mm. And down here it says Atlanta, Georgia. And on the top here you have the little Cobray sign and who makes them. On the other side, there's barely anything to show. It just says this is the semi-automatic version. This is not a transferable machine gun, folks. I do not have a transferable machine gun here in front of you. But these were real popular in the 80s. These and the little Uzis and the Tech 9s and all that. And that was the technology in the 80s for little sub guns chambered in 9mm. What made these real popular was movies like Scarface, stuff like that. They used them in the gangster movies. And basically what you get is a very big, blocky chunk of steel, and it's chambered in 9mm, and it's probably one of the most uncomfortable things you're ever going to hold in your life. I mean, this thing is really wide to hold in your hand. It's very uncomfortable to shoot, and it's really well made. It's built like a tank, but if you look at some of the craftsmanship they have here, it looks like I welded that. Same goes for the back, the way it's welded together and everything like that. But very blocky, very simple design. And the way this thing operates, it's got a charging handle on top that you will half cut your finger off if you don't operate this thing very carefully. You just charge it back. And on the side here, it has fire and safe. That's your controls, and it's got what they call a heel magazine release on the bottom. That's how you release the magazines out of it. So this one comes with a threaded barrel on it, and since this is not a class 3 NFA item, you get a little barrel shroud that goes on the end of it. The thread's on the end of this thing, and this gives you the option to another way to hold this thing. If you didn't want to hold it just like with one hand to shoot, you can sit there and hold on to it with this and fire it from this position, kind of like from the hip. And we're going to remove this off of here. This thing's stupid. It adds a lot of weight onto it and everything like that. So we'll remove this off. I just want to show you that's the way you make this a little bit larger and a little bit easier to handle. The sights on this thing is terrible. Just got a little peephole and a little cutout on top here, and on the front it's just got this fixed sight. There's no adjustment, so you have to figure out where to hold wherever your point of impact is, and you just have to roll with it. It's got a little sling attachment on the back. It comes with a little sling. You can put a little attachment on the front here and you just have a little sling. But basically it's an oversized 9mm handgun, folks. And people love them. The nostalgia of owning one of these old things, and they love them. But to be honest with you, all practicality purposes, this is probably not the way to go to carry around in a backpack. It's really awkward to operate. This is probably not what I would go for first. Now on the top here, you have the Sig Copperhead. Very similar size package. This was a little bit bigger, but this is an older one that comes with a little arm brace on the back of it. So if you wanted to make this one bigger, instead of adding on a stupid little barrel extension on it, you just slide this thing out here on the end and it expands out right here. Makes it a little bit easier to manipulate, and you just push this button here and it slides back in and goes down to a real compact package. Now, what makes this one a little bit more unique than the one I just showed you is it has a Picatinny rail on top, or you can put like a red dot optic on it like this one has on it here. And this one has the very familiar AR style controls on it. So you have your safety right here, you have your mag release right here, and has a really comfortable AR style grip on it. And this one's ambidextrous, so all the controls are on both sides, so lefties and righties can shoot it. Does not have a threaded barrel on it, folks. It just has like a little flash hider that's built into it. Both of these are really short barreled 9mm, and both of them will hold 30 round magazines in them. So basically they're both about the same size. They both hold 30 round magazines, and they both can fit in a backpack. Now, when the magazines are in either one of them, the magazine extends down, about this far on the bottom of it, the little 30 round magazine. And with the MAC-11, it sticks way out the bottom here for the 30 round magazine. Now, if you got into some real bad sticky situations with this thing, you're going to have to learn with training and all that how to release this magazine with this little heel thing. You have to figure out this safety here that's not really accessible. If I hold this thing in my hand right here, the only way I found that you can do it is hold it in your right hand and work it with your finger. That's the only way that I've seen that you could logically do this. This knob on top of here, it's not very high or anything. It's not real easy to grab onto. And all you have is a crappy sight picture right here. So this is probably one of the worst designs when it comes to ergonomics and all that I think I have ever seen in a weapon, ever. This one here is probably one of the best designs. This is the most familiar thing to everybody, this AR style. So if this is actually a usable weapon, if you're into 9mm subguns and you want to carry in your backpack or in your motorcycle saddlebag or something a actual 9mm subgun, I would definitely recommend one of these more modern ones. This one here has a piston driven upper, so it doesn't require any kind of buffer. And I mean, look how small of a package this thing is. It's very small and it operates just like an AR, and people that are into firearms, they're very familiar with AR controls. And you have a variety of different kind of sights you can put on it, or optics, whatever you choose. You can do whatever you want on top. This one here, not so much. You can get the crappy little fixed sights on it on a block of steel. Both of them, if you're using it like a regular 9mm handgun, both of them are pretty hefty. They probably weigh about the same, folks. So these are not like carry compact weapons that you would carry like in your pocket or in a holster or anything like that. They are more meant to be like a backpack gun or something held around your body with a sling or something along those lines. But the reason people own stuff like this one here, I would say people own it because they're idiots. Yeah, they have them because they can. There's nobody that's watching this video can tell me this is a practical weapon in today's times that would be practical for using for self-defense. This is a range toy, and this is something to show your buddy. And you come over and say, hey man, did you ever see Scarface? I have the same gun. And that goes the same for the Tech 9 and the same for the Uzi. Those three were all popular around the same time. They all have about the same practicality purposes, and they're all just nostalgic, old, cool guns that were used in movies, and gangsters used them. This one here, why would you own this? Well, you would own this if you were a 9mm caliber person and you wanted to carry a sub gun on your person in a backpack or something like this. And this is actually going to be very practical, folks. Very practical. It's got very good controls. It's very well made. It operates very well. You don't have to worry. Sig Sauer has a great reputation for making really good, high quality stuff. So, I mean, this is a great weapon here. I'm not saying this MAC-11 is a terrible weapon. I'm just saying it really doesn't have a lot of practical uses in today's time. Now, if this was the only thing I ever had and I had to use it, absolutely, I would recommend going for it. But if you have another choice, folks, there's so many options out there with these little sub guns today. I mean, you have like the CZ Scorpion, you have the little Strybog, little 9mm thing, you have this Copperhead. They have them all over the map when it comes to price point and all that. Crazy thing is, these two here, if you were to go look at them in today's times, they're not far apart in prices because people pay stupid money for these old MAC-11s, and these things are quality made, so they're not real far apart. The SIG's going to cost a little bit more, but it's not that much more. So it's not a money thing, it's a brain thing. Brain power goes a lot better than looking good, and I would go towards the more modern stuff that everybody's familiar with. The aftermarket support is out of this world on the AR platform here. So anyway, folks, I wanted to show you side by side these two little sub guns, one from the 80s and one from today's time, and show you what the practical uses are and what the advantages and disadvantages are to them. And if you have any questions on either one of them, I have videos on each one of these. Feel free to reach out. I'm not an expert on little sub guns, but I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. Anyway, folks, thank you very much for watching my video today, and you folks have a great day.